draft yesterday. The Heisman Trophy winner is projected to be a first-round pick, but he still has 3 days to pull his name out of the draft. Reports say Kyler can still play baseball, but he is, quote, determined to play football. The A's have already given him a $4.6 million signing bonus, but Kyler was reportedly looking for additional money to pick baseball over football. We're joined by Rob Parker. And Rob, you've said Kyler should play baseball. So is he making a mistake by picking football?
Most people don't have an option,
Right.
So this is a very unusual spot to be
Extremely.
in. It just is, because it's usually one or the other. But I think he would be making a mistake not to pick baseball from this standpoint. I know he won the Heisman, but he didn't win the Hype Man Trophy of the Year. He's going to have to, as that size, play quarterback in the NFL. And I'm not saying it's impossible, it can't be done, but for the most part, it's an uphill battle of trying to play that position.
Sure.
You've even seen Drew Brees tippy-toeing, trying to look over the line to be able to throw. And obviously, he's had a great career, and we know there's been other guys. But here's the reasons why. Health, money, and longevity. If you can play that game, baseball, and you don't have to deal with the health issues that come with it, then you should grab it. It's not like this is the A's don't throw around $5 million just to throw around $5 million. Right. They really believe that this guy can get there. And it's hard. Skip, hitting the baseball. Hardest thing. Shannon, were you able to hit a baseball?
I was not.
Yeah, most guys can't hit a baseball. It's just hard to do.
I didn't try, but I'm sure I could have.
You think so?
No, I think so.
But here's the other battle, I think. And I look at Deion Sanders came out, play baseball. This guy who
He said he would pick a bat up and not
yes. And this is a guy who won a gold jacket.
Yeah.
A Hall of Famer, considered one of the greatest DBs ever, right? Okay. Russell Wilson, he's won a Super Bowl. He says he'd play baseball too if he could. Russell Wilson, what? Skip couldn't hit. Couldn't hit. Would have loved to have played baseball.
Good field, no
right.
hit.
Just
Second
couldn't
baseman.
hit.
Yep.
And then I look at this. This is like a broader thing. I really think this is a bigger moment than just for Murray. Because here's a guy who's got all of that appeal and pop on social media, and kids are watching this.
They are.
It's a big moment.
Absolutely.
And I think that this could be a big victory for baseball, only from this standpoint. If he does pick baseball, I just hope the kids out there who have been brainwashed, you hear me? Brainwashed that the only sports they can play are football and basketball. It's such a disservice. Go look at the history of baseball and black people playing. That's our game too.
Yeah.
Baseball.
You used to dominate that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Also, there's a thing that used to be called the Negro Leagues, where all these great, don't tell me black people don't play baseball. But what's happened is a lot of these people who are on the outside trying to get these kids, or they want the next LeBron James or Mike, and they tell these kids, you can't play anything else. All these great players have played more than one sport. He is an example that you can. You can play more than one sport. You can try to excel in baseball and basketball, or in his case, Murray's case, football. So this is a big moment right here. I think if he does pick baseball, it could send a signal that there are other options out there. I think he would be smart to take baseball.
You know, to your point real quick, it always surprises me when I look back at Kyler's high school that he played baseball, because so many black kids and white kids and kids of all color just fell out of love with baseball because it's just too slow.
That's why.
Football's faster. Basketball's way faster.
More buzz.
It's just more buzz. It's just more fun.
No doubt about it.
Right?
But I had a nephew who was an all-star baseball player and a good basketball player. And I just remember the AAU coach. No. Basketball 24/7. And that's why he stopped playing. And a lot of kids are pressured that way, in that, well, you really want to make it, you got to put everything into it. And that's just not true.
Right.
You can play more than one. And that's my thing. So
it's a good
this is a
reminder.
big moment. Yes.
Go ahead, Skip.
I saw a stat to debunk one myth that you're making about money, long-term money, bigger in baseball. It can be, but not often is it, because I saw a stat on ESPN that more than half of the active NFL quarterbacks have earned at least $10 million in their career. That's the whole batch of them. and that only 28% of the current outfilders in baseball have earned more than $10 million for their career. That's because a lot of them are young and they're still on the first 5 years, and you haven't struck it rich yet. Because if you're good and you like Andrew McCutcheon, he just keeps striking it rich because he's really good, and he's only 5'11".
He just got $51 million, right?
And again, he's a short guy. Mookie Betts is what, 5'9"?
He's a star.
Yeah, and he's a star. And Jackie Bradley Jr. is 5'10".
How tall is Mike Trout?
I don't know.
He can't be more than about 5'10", 5'11".
He might be
6 feet.
Yeah, he might be 6 feet. But then I saw another stat that current quarterbacks, 11% of them in the NFL have earned $100 million or more in their careers, because those are the top of the list, right? Only 5% of current outfielders have made $100 million or more. My point is, if you're playing that position in the National Football League and you have some longevity to you and you're a star,
if you're a star,
you can make.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Skip.
Okay.
But if you have longevity and you're a star in baseball, how much can you make? How much is Mike Trout? How much is Giancarlo Stanton?
Yeah.
How much is Bryce Harper?
Okay, I'm sure.
That's the equivalent.
I am sure.
Right, that's the equivalent to the quarterback.
I got you. But I'm more sold on Kyler as a football star than as a baseball star. Again, I told you earlier, he played 2 years of college baseball at the University of Oklahoma. It's pretty high level in the Big 12, but he was not a star, didn't make an all-star team. He hit last year 296. His on base was almost 400, which is why Billy Beane said him.
That's why they love Brian.
And his on base plus slugging, because he's got power attached to speed, was almost 1,000. So that's why they're like, oh, there. Yeah. They're projecting.
That's what they're looking for.
Okay, but it didn't manifest itself last year. It wasn't like he dominated the sport, because I'm sure Mike Trout all the way up, he's just dominant. Every level, every high school, he's just going to dominate whatever level. This kid is still trying to find his way in baseball. In football, he simply had the greatest statistical season in the history of college football. So I can see it. I've told you, on the football field, I've never seen quicker feet than this kid's feet, including Barry Sanders, because it's just spectacular what he can do with his legs and his arm. And his arm is above average. He can fling it, man. So we saw what he could do in football. He did win the Heisman Trophy, and baseball's desperate pursuit of him, because they need that star, has actually fueled the rising stock in football.
I agree with that.
And so now Mel Kiper's projecting him to either Miami or Washington at 13 or 15 in that's the top half of the first round of the draft. And then we went over this earlier. Arizona's got the first pick. They need a quarterback. You could argue, although Josh Rosen, whatever. Raiders at 4, Giants at 6, Jaguars at 7, your Broncos at 10, and the Bengals at 11. All are candidates to pick a quarterback. Well, you look at the field. Dwayne Haskins, I like. He really, certainly against Michigan, he was sensational. So he'll be up there in that group somewhere.
And he played good in the whole
game.
He did.
But Skip, you also have to factor in, a lot of guys have failed who were Heisman Trophy winners as they made that transfer over to the NFL. It's not automatic.
It's not automatic, and history doesn't dictate that's going to happen again this time. But he will be the shortest quarterback in NFL history if he starts games for somebody.
Yes.
So I still believe in him because he's got stature to him. He's not skinny short. He's got stature. He can take the licking. He can keep on ticking. He's got he's got durability to him in football. Can you get hurt faster? Sure you can in football. You can get hurt in baseball sometimes too. But in the end, you look at the other quarterback candidates, Drew Lock and Daniel Jones. I've watched all of them, Will Greer, Ryan Finley.
So you're saying maybe if this was last year, you would look and go,
you'd say, I don't know about last year.
Do you know what I mean with that crop of...
this year, it's between him and Dwayne Haskins for who would go first in that early batch.
They're probably, if given a choice, they'd probably take prototypical.
Okay, you're probably right.
What, 6'2", 6'3"?
You're probably right.
Big kid.
But Cliff Kingsbury was on record, again, at Texas Tech before they're about to play Oklahoma. I would take him with the first pick in the draft, Kyler Murray. Well, does he still believe that? I don't know.
Josh
Maybe.
McDaniels took Tim Tebow, too. What'd they get him?
I got him playoff.
No, he got him
he got him fired in Denver.
That didn't get him fired. Tim Tebow wasn't playing yet.
That up.
At the end of the... What's going to make the kid happy, Skip? Where is this?
Well, obviously his heart is
well, they go. Forget them. Take money out of the equation.
Okay, I'm taking it out because I'm convinced he would be happier. There's no rush like Sunday rush for a quarterback, especially, even for a tight end.
There's nothing like running out of that tunnel.
No, there's just nothing.
You run onto the field. When they all run onto the field, they cheering for everybody. You run out that tunnel, they call your name at tight end from Savannah State.
Right.
Man, 80,000 fans go crazy. Oh, man.
And let me throw
And he
this on
did
top
not
of it.
yet. Where did I put that work in?
Okay. Endorsements. Again, he could be a big baseball star, but you're not going to land any endorsements when you start off in Stockton and high A ball because you can't sell that. Would Nike give him a deal? They probably would as a baseball player. But
because
again,
he has name recognition already.
Yeah.
if let's just do the hypothetical. If Arizona takes him #1 overall, how many endorsements will he get? He'll get a bunch.
Yeah.
Because he's the next it kid, right?
Big Nike deal probably. Well, some shoe deal. Probably going to get like a drink, sports drink, nutrition.
He just
It's already
would.
going to happen,
Yeah.
probably. I'm surprised.
And
we
it's
haven't
funny.
seen it.
I don't
Probably a
find him.
step ladder company too, you know.
Maybe. Well, you could be right about that. He'd probably go along with that. He doesn't have, as you know, he doesn't have big charisma off the field, but he has big charisma on the field.
And I think it's in him.
Yeah.
I think there's that confidence
Yeah,
in him, but I think it will come out as we see more of him too.
Shannon, are you surprised though that, like the football players who have achieved well, like, when you hear this, Deion's not like some guy who just had a cup of coffee in his
I was
sweet roll in the
surprised by
league.
that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, he says it all the time. If he could have, he'd have played. If he was the equivalent
Of what he was in football.
baseball, no question. He's like,
I don't really get it because he was simply the greatest cornerback in the history of football. So how would you walk away from that?
know.
Imagine.
It's amazing.
Being considered one of the greatest outfielders of all time. All that money.
Is that because that made him happier? Did baseball make him happier?
I think, you know what?
Did it frustrate him more where he wished he could have been a bigger
Yeah,
star?
because he wanted to master that.
Yeah.
Because time rolled out of bed, he's going to run for it too.
Right.
He's going to
It's
cover the
too
best
easy.
receiver.
I know.
He was going to roll out of bed and do that, and he had
Maybe.
to really, really work at
I know.
baseball.
Well, you do.
And the really great players, they like to work. They like a challenge.
Yeah.
That's why so many of them play golf after it's all said and done, because they can't master it.
Yeah.
Because it's totally different. You might hit the ball tremendous one day, and next day go shoot 115.
How well I know.
Good old Shea Sharp go out there and shoot 80 all the time.
Shea Sharp has never touched a
golf.
I haven't, but I can beat you.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
couldn't beat your brother.
Make that
No,
happen.
no, he play all the time.
Yeah.
Rob, loved your point about the idea that how he's played 2 sports can help him. And parents want to focus on one
Yeah, I
sport
played
now.
2. I played 3. Yeah.
Yes,
That
you
is
play
not
more than
it's
one.
a
You
good
get more.
reminder.
It is.
That was
More
nice to
muscle.
think
you
about.
develop all your coordination,
Yeah.
your hand-eye, and dexterity. Yes. Don't
Makes
just play
sense.
one.
Yeah. And
All
you
you
get sick of it.
build up is one muscle group.
Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. Did the Rams know the Cowboys' defensive signals on Saturday night?
Wait a minute, did the
We'll discuss.
Patriots